And we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Manifesting Monday, Monday Spotlight. I have with me today Boone Cutler. And for those of you who don't know who Boone is, make sure that you join here. If you're just seeing the recording, come back, stay till the end. There's going to be a lot of good stuff. And so, Boone, what I like to do in the beginning of these spotlights is I like to talk about first, introduce you, tell everybody how I know you, and then I'll have you introduce yourself.
Great.
Okay, so how I know Boone. Boone and I don't know each other very well. We just met. But I already know that this man has a great heart. And I'm a good judge of character. Boone and I met at a coffee connection through mutual friends.
Mm-hmm.
And probably maybe about a few weeks ago. I'm not quite sure. It was a few weeks ago. And I felt compelled. I needed to get a hold of this man because of what he's doing and his message. So Boone talks about, and he's a vet, and you see on there that, he's a war vet, an author, and a radio show host.
Mm-hmm.
And he helps a lot of people, especially veterans, because you're a vet yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And Boone talked about his story and how he helps many people, and in one area also with suicide. And I really related to that because those of you who know me, you can go on my website and you can look, just get a little bit of information as well. My brother died of suicide, and, it's a big deal. Mm. And not many people are comfortable to talk about it. It's an uncomfortable subject, but you're here to help. And I mean, the passion that Boone has and the drive. I mean, I talk to you and I'm like, ooh, this guy is constantly moving and doing and moving and shaking and helping. And that's the kind of person and the people that I like in my circle. So, you don't see that, we just met, but this guy is going to be in my circle. And I've already grasped onto your stuff on social media. So whoever out there, you know me, you know that I'm a good judge of character. Those of you who follow me, start following Boone. He's got a great message and he's doing a lot of really wonderful things. So that's how I know Boone. And I'm going to hand it off to you and have you introduce yourself and tell people what you do.
Well, thank you, Teresa, for having me on your live today. I think it's important that people from different walks of life do talk about the things that's relative to them. And, suicide has impacted your life. It's impacted my life. Within the warfighter community, within the veteran community, suicide is a major issue. Anxiety issues are major issues. Coming back from war and understanding, hey, why is my body different? Why is my mind different? Why are all these things just, I'm not the same person as I was before, which is a common thing that guys, males and females coming back from war always say, why am I so different? What's changed? And so we talk about those things. What has changed? It doesn't matter if it's heavy metal toxicity. It doesn't matter if it's brain injuries from falls or getting hit or explosions. It doesn't matter if it's PTSD. All these things have an explanation and a way to deal with them. The problem is, if we don't have that crosstalk on, okay, hey, what's working for you? What's working for you? Or what didn't work for you? This kind of stuff. We're not going to get better because there's nobody sitting out there with one magic, silver bullet that squares everybody away. So you got to pick and choose and pick and choose from a list of things that actually works. And so that's what I do. I kind of have a list of things that work for a lot of people, and I try and promote that.
And I didn't even think about heavy metal toxicity. I'm really big into health. And I mean, that's one thing that people don't understand have to do with your mind.
Oh, when we talk about heavy metal toxicity, it's not talked about a lot, but in Iraq, we got the burn pits, which has a lot to do with just environmental toxins. You're dealing with uranium, depleted uranium. It's in the dirt, it's in the water, it's other places. Just lead, if you spend a day in a shoot house, you've gone above what's a healthy lead level for a human body. So, there are a lot of things that warfighters are dealing with that a lot of folks, they don't get, they don't understand it's there. And like you just said, the heavy metal toxicity, it hurts the brain. It changes behavior. And guys are thinking that there's something wrong with them, and they're being treated in one way, like psych meds. You know, everything, you get psych meds for everything. Well, you can't give me psych meds for a brain injury and expect it to work. So that's one of my big messages.
Yeah. So do you have people that you point in the direction? I mean, you know, if you have the list of stuff, you have a team or people that you go to at the hospitals, or?
Oh God, you know, right now, you know, we're doing a really good job interfacing at the hospitals. The local VA here in Reno does a fantastic job, and they do listen, and they're incorporating things like the Spartan Pledge, things that work at the emergent leader level, which is fantastic, and that's spreading across the country too. So, you know, we're going to keep doing stuff like that, and that keeps the door open to talk about things like like burn pits, heavy metal toxicity, methylquin toxicity, TBI, traumatic brain injury. A lot of folks aren't really dialed into the behavioral effects of traumatic brain injury if they haven't dealt with it. And so we're just trying to get the word out.
So why don't you, I'm so glad. And, you know, it doesn't surprise me that the people here in Reno are moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
When I first moved here, I moved from Tahoe, and I had said 2 years tops. It's been 16. And really, it's because of the people. They're so magnificent, and I'm glad to meet them. So why don't you tell everybody, Boone, about the Spartan Pledge? I hadn't heard of it before. I did work at a fire department at one point in the admin. It was one of the best jobs ever. Love firefighters, police, vets. So why don't you tell people about that?
Well, the Spartan Pledge is a battle drill. It's what to do when you don't know what to do. When you're in the military, you learn something. You learn these things called battle drills, and it's basically a predetermined set or course of action that you're going to take under certain conditions. And everybody knows the same thing. Everybody knows the plan. Everybody, you know, has a duty and a responsibility within these battle drills. And that's what we've capitalized on. The Spartan Pledge is a battle drill. It's what to do when you don't know what to do. So if you're a warfighter, you're a person, you're in a situation where you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And there's two things that we do to mitigate that, because that sense of I don't know what to do usually leads to, when you're in a destructive state of mind, when you're in a depressed state of mind, suicidal state of mind, usually leads to, you know, certain phrases that we say to ourselves, like the world would be a better place without me, like I'm not doing anything good here. And if you're telling yourself that the world would be a better place without you, probably means you need to talk to somebody. And you don't always 100% of the time need a doctor. I don't think that's true, but you do need somebody. You need somebody you can trust. And so, you know, as a warfighter, we call each other what's a battle buddy. You know, that's what we call each other. And so, you know, the Spartan Pledge is two sentences. I will not take my own life by my own hand until I talk to my battle buddy first. The second sentence is, my mission is to find a mission to help my warfighter family, because we find once you have that connection with one other person and you have a mission back in your life that's reestablished, then you have an identity. Once you have an identity, then you become more secure inside, mentally, physically, physiologically, psychologically, and then things get better. So that's what this thing's built around. You got to have a battle buddy. You got to have a mission. Same thing with law enforcement, first responders. Now the Spartan Pledge has moved on to them, and there's a first responder Spartan Pledge. And with these things, there are ceremonies that happen around the country, and it's just about getting people connected. And I think especially in a digital world, it's more and more and more and more important.
Completely. I mean, connection is everything. And you guys, you're not sitting here, but for those of you, I'm sure you can feel the connection that Boone has. That's the magneticism. You know, right away I was like, okay, this man knows what he's talking about. And during that coffee connection, everybody right away went up to him, and I was like, okay, I want to talk. And I got, you know, so I ended up calling. Like, I need to talk to this guy and really get him on and get his message across, because you need a war buddy, even if you're not in war.
You know, on the civilian side, I've been contacting to say, hey, can you modify the Spartan Pledge for kids? And because kids right now, especially in our country, and I think it does have to do with a lot of digital hygiene, poor digital hygiene, and that affects people, and they don't feel connected, and they have problems, and then the suicide rate goes up. So I've been contacted, you know, can we modify this for children? And I say, well, the first thing you have to do is you have to teach them the value of, one, what is a pledge, what is an oath, and what's the value of that, and why you have to maintain that. You don't just, it's not some words you say and then that's it. I mean, it's something you live by. It's connected to your integrity inside. Now, the reason the Spartan Pledge works within law enforcement, first responders, and military is because we take it so strongly when we take an oath or a pledge. It's it's everything. We don't want to ruin our integrity above all things. So I think it would be a good thing to modify it for kids, because you have to teach them that. And I think kids today especially need to understand what is an ethos, what is a code that you live by, and how you uphold that code above all other things. I think it's very, very important to believe in something that strongly. And the second thing is, if you modify it for kids, if they don't know how valuable a code is, and they won't follow it, then they won't reach out and they won't maintain a mission. And also sometimes that whole concept of maintaining a mission or getting a mission to help other people, for kids, I think is very, very good. I think it needs to happen. I think it forces the maturity. I think it puts you in a situation where you start thinking about societal needs over your own needs, and you come together and you work as a team. So I think it could be modified for kids, but for right now, it's specifically for first responders, military, and law enforcement. But I mean, anybody can take it, because it boils down to, basically having a really good friend and something to do. If you got a really good friend and something to do, there's a lot less likely chance you're going to be dealing with those histrionic.
You're excited about life.
You got something going on. That's for sure.
You wake up excited for the day.
For sure.
There's something going on, someone to connect with. And that's what we need. We're here to connect with people. That's the human race. I mean, we need to connect. That's what we're built for.
Yeah.
I love it when the kids comes out, or let me know. I have kids, and I'm all about, doing this for the children. They're the next generation. We've heard this generation before, but it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to keep passing this along.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the accountability. I love what you say about the code. I mean, when you're talking, I get to feel that, I am all about integrity in my friendships, follow through. If you're in, you're in.
Right.
Right. And I used to think that, I know now that more is not better. You want quality and not quantity. Go for it,
Right. I mean, the kids, not just kids, but people today, we have these swipe away friends. I'm done with this person, swipe, they're gone. Okay, let's go meet a new friend. Oh, hi, let's start talking. And so you have connecting without connection. And also you have a lot of information without wisdom. You go on the internet, you can get all the information in the world, but it doesn't come with any wisdom, because we're not connected to the people that are older than us, that have been through stuff, that are mentoring, that are in those eldership roles. And that's the way society is supposed to work. So when we have connecting without connection through the digital space, we're not, that's not quite there. We're taking a step back in humanity. We got to take a step forward.
You feel an emptiness too.
Always.
Yeah.
I got 3,000 friends and I'm totally alone. How does that happen?
Right.
That's connecting. That's not connection. You've connected with people, but you don't have a connection with a person. And you're right. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. If you can have one good friend, just one good friend, you're ahead of most people.
And I always talk about, don't do it alone, you guys. I tried to do things alone. I mean, those of you who know me, those of you who don't, you can look at my website. I tried to do things alone, and I just got so far, but with the right people. I have mentors. I mentor.
Oh, absolutely.
You mentor. You have mentors.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. Don't do it alone. That's what we're built to be stronger together. And so thank you for coming here and sharing your message to everyone here. Those of you who aren't following Boone yet, follow him. But why don't we talk about, you just came out with a book, right? You just wrote your book.
I just came out with 2 books. But,
two books.
The one that you're talking about specifically is called FPL. It's Functional Personal or Personalized Lifestyle. And it's about, when you get off active duty, warfighters have a certain lifestyle. With the military, you have a lifestyle, and that lifestyle is everything. You get up, you do PT, then you get all squared away, you get your chow, then you start your duty day. At 11:30, you're gonna go to chow again. You got to be back on duty at 1300, and you're gonna, all this stuff. You have a lifestyle. You have a certain thing you wear, and everybody knows who's in charge of what. And you wear your resume on your chest, and it's a lifestyle. And then when you get out of the military, where's the lifestyle? And so that's, again, it breaks the identity. It breaks, where your sense of importance is in the world. And so what we talk about in FPL is, hey, listen, here's some, internal factors, external factors. Ultimately, when you break it down, is, what things are kind of keeping me disconnected? How do I get re-engaged? If you're sitting at your house, day and night drinking Monsters, playing video games, that's going to get old pretty quick. You're just going to get fat and lazy. There's other things that you can do. And so we talk about all the things that work to get people re-engaged and get people healthy, because health is a big part of the whole thing. If you're not healthy, you don't want to re-engage with people. You feel bad. You don't want to be around people. You just kind of want to isolate more. So we want people feeling better, and we want them engaged. And that's what FPL does. And we're not telling you what to do. We're just telling you what's available. And then you got to figure it out, because it's functional and it's personal. So each person is going to be a little bit different.
Well, everyone has to figure it out. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but then there's resources, and Boone is available.
Boone's available.
Yeah. I mean, you're reachable.
Yeah.
That's what he said, I'm reachable, reach out. And so those of you who know me, I'm like, oh, reaching out right away. So I did, you know, but he's available and pretty easy. And I know that you get busy, but then you always get back.
I do get busy, and I get a lot of messages. It's common. I'll wake up to 30 standing messages I got to get back to. But I do a pretty good job of getting back to people. Not perfect at all. They do get prioritized if I see someone's having a problem, as opposed to, someone just wants to chit chat. So, I do what I can there.
Every leader does that. And
And in the book, it says, it kind of directs people. Where do you need to go? What do you need to do to handle certain things? And we talk about things like cannabis. We talk about hyperbaric oxygen. We talk about psilocybin. We talk about nortotropin, hormone replacement. Healthy medicine, that's the big thing. Healthy medicine is so important. It's not talked about enough. So in the book, we talk about healthy medicine.
You all know that I love books. When you watch my videos, there's books behind me. I have more books. I love books. I will be getting your books.
Good.
It's all about healthy medicine. So you're helping people, and it's FLP?
FPL.
FPL, excuse me. Dyslexia, I guess. So it's all about helping people get their lifestyle back, and it's really identity.
It is. It always is. Yeah.
And that's a huge problem for people who aren't even vets. But I know that going through something traumatic and going through those kinds of things, that's just, you're so used to being a certain way, and then all of a sudden, okay, now go ahead and re-assimilate, and then that's it.
Yeah, even animals. You take an animal that's in a certain confinement, that has a regiment, that's being, that's in captivity, and then you just can't throw that animal into the wild, and vice versa. There's going to be some sort of change. You take that animal from the wild and try to bring them into captivity, there's going to be problems. Well, a primate's a primate. A primate is a primate. We're primates. Okay, we have identity. We need groups. We're team players. It has to happen that way. And a lot of times when you get off active duty, or you get out of law enforcement, or you stop becoming a first responder, and you lose that culture. You lose your identity when you lose the culture. The identity crisis brings on all these other things, which lead to alcoholism, drug addiction, divorce, just very negative behavior. And it's all part of that search. How do I find my place in the world? And I know that sounds really simple, but wow, it's hard to figure out when you're in the middle of it.
Simple, but not really when you say it, but actually, taking action. It's just listening to everything that you have to say. I'm just really blown away, actually. It's because it's huge. And so FPL really gives direction and more options. We need more options, and people don't know of all the options. And healthy medicine. Toxicity, what you can actually do. Don't do it alone. We're stronger together, and you may feel alone, but you're never alone.
No.
You got to reach out. And there's so many people out there that want that companionship. I get up every morning and I'm excited about it, and this morning I was like, yes, I get to, come here on Glory Cloud and interview Boone, get the word out. We got some people joining, a lot of thumbs up. And so, thank you. Yeah. Okay. So Rita's a vet, Mike and Debbie, and then we got Maria. Oh, so good family people there. And then we also have some vets. Absolutely good people.
Good deal.
So those of you who are just joining, go back to the beginning, watch from the beginning. It's a lot of good stuff. Buy Boone's book, FPL.
FPL, and if you've been in the military, FPL also stands for Vital Protective Line. And so there's a little play on words there. We call it functional personalized lifestyle now. But when you talk about an FPL, when you're in a defensive perimeter and basically you're being overwhelmed, you're being overrun. You go to your FPL, and that means basically everybody locks their weapon in a certain position and they just lean on the trigger. So you create this wall of lead around you to protect you. Well, we've kind of done the same thing. Jeff Dardia came up with this, not me. I just wrote my story, but Jeff Dardia came up with the concept of functional personalized lifestyle, and based on the same concept of an FPL. This is what you do. This is your last line of defense. This is everything you got. So so make sure you invest in it.
You have to invest in yourself.
You have to.
And if you don't believe in yourself, borrow somebody else's if you need it. I've needed someone to believe in me. Have you needed that?
Yeah.
I know Scott. Scott's here working, but he has it even written that he believes in you as well. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't love and respect this man and think he was a good person. So make the move today. Start following Boone, FPL. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. I put out some good stuff there. FPL is a great book, and I think it can help a lot of people. There's folks that don't have anything to do with the military that still love the book because, when you retire, when you get out of school, you're always going to go through these times and where that identity disconnect happens. And so they've kind of adopted the book too. And people with just chronic pain, chronic depression, they've also adopted the book. So there's a lot of bleed through, and it's not just military, law enforcement, and first responders. There's a lot of bleed over into a lot of different things and areas in people's lives.
Everybody can relate. I mean, I know that those of you who are watching, that you can relate even if you are not military, because I'm not military, definitely can relate.
Great.
Same kind of issues that I've worked on over the years too. Identity, it's huge for people. So thank you again. And you guys, I will put the link here to get, FPL, and follow Boone on Instagram. I can even put the link here right to your Instagram.
Sure, no problem.
All right, you guys, thanks for joining. I will see you soon.